How often do you find yourself craving for a vacation, followed by a blank mind of where to go? Do you know that a good break improves your quality of sleep, mood, and creativity, even up to 5 weeks later? When you're on a holiday, do you prefer a fixed itinerary or a fully chilled out, laid back time? To travel is to have an affair with life, to get with the new and away from the daily familiarities, to wake up in a different bed, to open your eyes to different sights. Treat your vacations as a necessity and not just a luxury. After all, even the strongest of batteries need a moment to recharge. So come with me to discover only the best islands and beaches that your heart and soul craves for. I'm Henry Golding, and we're going to travel without boundaries. There's so much that a city can offer. The concrete jungle of cash, careers, and carnal desires. And yet, there is still something missing. So it's bright and early in the morning at the Street Plus office. We are headed to my hometown of Dungan. I'm going to check out some of the old houses I used to live in, see if anything's changed, see if anyone's still hanging around. But then my island adventures start with Perhentian.
It's rainy and slippery out here. Hopefully the weather's going to be better.
As I embark on my new journey, I've decided that I shall begin by returning to the hometown that birthed my love for the sun, sea, and sand. You might guess that I'm talking about Sarawak, but actually, a huge chunk of my roots stem from the soils of Kuala Terengganu. Besides being known for its keropok lekor and nasi dagang, Kuala Terengganu is also the gateway to many offshore islands, seeing that it's located strategically by the South China Sea. So here we are at the elegant Tanjung Jara Resort, where I spent most of my younger years running a riot around these grounds. Basing its structure on the 17th century Malay palaces, Tanjung Jara offers a serene paradise that can only rejuvenate your body and spirit. The rooms here are furnished in local timber and rich fabrics, making every single facility here fit for royalty. The atmosphere is always warm and inviting, and it's no surprise that I love my time spent here. When night arrived, I was greeted with a delightful surprise, and to my amazement, she remembered me too.
Wow, blast from the past, I tell you. She used to make the best Hawaiian burgers ever.
And looks like she also makes the best butter prawns. Dinner was absolutely delicious.
Well, Tanjung Jara holds a very, very special and definitive role in my life. I mean, this was where we would always come after school. I mean, pretty much every time we were free as a family, or all our friends would come and just, hang out by the pool, go to the ocean. So I pretty much grew up within these grounds, and there's some very old familiar faces. There's Chef Anne and the guy who wears a songkok at the lobby. So it's so nostalgic, and everything seems smaller though. I must have grown a little.
Now I'm going to tuck myself into bed before heading over to my family home tomorrow. Now I wonder if anyone is still living there, or if I can even remember the place. Ooh, that house looks familiar. So this was the last house that I ever lived in Malaysia. Tamaran Himran, number 14. But the lock that I still remember, the green lock, it's still here. 15 years later on. Yeah, some really fond memories of this place. Well, quick check if the coast is clear. Hello. So this was where the chicken hut was, and now in that corner, my dad made us a little tree house, and we'd sort of eat and have our barbecues and just hang out in there. But I think it's either shrunk or I've completely grown up, because I used to remember it being a lot bigger. Looking back, you realize how your childhood is such a sacred moment in time. Every gesture, every smile and laugh was genuine. It's a wonderful season that passes way too quickly and far too soon. That was me. That was me as a 9-year-old, I guess.
I had a great childhood. I was very, very lucky enough to have parents who loved me, a great group of friends and loved ones. And I grew up on a beach and I had so much freedom. But then, when it came to that critical moment when I was sort of just growing up and I moved over to England. So I had best of the both worlds. And I think travel is just so important to people. And it's so integral to make your foundation and to make your morals, which you bring through for the rest of your life.
Coming up on Without Boundaries.
1, 2, 3.
After taking a peek back into the past, it was time to start creating more memories for the future. So we left for Busut, which then took us to Perhentian.
Oh, welcome to Perhentian. We are here on the small island. It is Kachil. There are two islands, Kachil and Basar. Now, Basar is mainly family orientated, so Kachil is exactly where it happens. There's Long Beach and Coral Bay. We're going to be staying in Coral Bay, but Perhentian actually means halfway point. Now, this is where all the traders came and stopped over. Had a good time, as you can see, and I've got my fingers crossed for some excellent diving. So we'll see.
Throughout my time here, I'll be staying at Sharilar Island Resort near Teluk Awar. The resort is above average despite having generally low-key chalets in order to retain the original forest layout. Its facilities include the Quiver Dive Center with a full range of paddy courses.
I love barbecues, they're so yummy.
As the sun hid its face and the moon revealed itself, hunger dawned upon our rumbling bellies. And as we gathered to feast on an array of seafood by the seaside, I knew that even though I was away from home, I wouldn't get homesick, for the ones I travel with aren't just my crew at work, but they're my friends and my family. And half the beauty of traveling is sharing it with someone you love.
Good morning! Yes, it is a very good morning indeed, because today we are going behind the scenes of the IDC. It's the Instructor Development Course. Now, this is one of the first times that it's ever been documented as to what they're going to be getting up to, what kind of exams they have to sit. So it's pretty exciting. Now, after that, that's what I'm really excited for, because we're going to be getting in the water.
Let's go to the Quiver Dive Center and meddle around a little bit. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get up to.
Divided by 2, average divided by 2, 3.5. You still pass.
Now this place is a hive of activity. We've got about 6 instructors to be in there, sitting their hour-and-a-half exam. Now for the past 2 weeks they've been learning about diving physics, physiology, equipment, decompression theory, and environment. Now I can hardly list those. I can imagine how intense the course has been, but like I say, 2 weeks of full-on learning, and this is it. This has come down to the wire. So let's have a quick sneak peek as to how to become an instructor from Paddy.
The IDC is the cornerstone of PADI's professional level training. Amongst the qualifications to take an IDC course is being a certified PADI dive master or a PADI assistant instructor, having logged 60 dives and submit a medical statement signed by a physician. While on their breaks, I could still see the stress in their faces, so I spoke to one of the dive instructors, Jamie, to find out how things were going.
What's the pass rate? Because it seems really difficult. It seems really.
The pass rate to do your IDC is you must score 75% or more on all your theory exams. And then you'll have a classroom presentation. Then they have to do confined skills where they demonstrate 5 skills. And then they do a open water, like a confined water demonstration and teach it as though they're the instructor. And then the next day they demonstrate a perfect rescue.
Okay.
And then they have to teach 2 open water skills.
I've always believed in, work outside of the office as a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And
that is my office.
I think you think the same. Right?
That is my
The beach
office.
is the office.
Being a paddy instructor, you can get to travel the world.
It seems like it's a lifestyle choice.
It's definitely a lifestyle.
And I can't wait to be part of this Paddy family, but for now, let's take a break from diving and try my hand at something that's completely unrelated to water. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about the Perhentians is that it just gets even more vibrant as the evening goes on, or when the sun goes down. Now, that's where the party starts. Now, there is local traditions and customs of fire performing on the beaches. Now, I've got one of the experts with me who's hopefully going to teach me a thing or two about fire dancing. Lee! Ah, don't hit me! How are you? You alright?
I'm alright, and you?
I'm good. So this is what I'm going to be learning, huh?
Yeah,
Right.
these are we call it like boys.
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 Okay. I'm a complete novice in this, so talk me through them. So
Okay.
you've got
For
2
example,
straps there.
Yeah. So just put 2 fingers.
2 fingers, yep. Alright.
So you have to spinning like how you play like skipping. So
Yeah.
you do like
Oh, okay.
a skipping. Yeah.
Ah. Oh, check that out. Okay, what's the next step? I'll tell you what, you show me exactly what I'm going to try and achieve. Alright, give it a go. You're going to get burnt. You're going to get burnt, you. That's over. I'm so malcoordinated. I have no idea how my left and my right just feel like, I don't know, it's glued to my hips. Out! And we're actually going to use. And we're actually going to use this with fire. When I was younger, I was always told, Henry, don't play with fire. But now that I'm much older, I think that warning should still apply, that's for sure. Because right now, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get burnt. Oh, I was just waiting for this to hit me in the head. Oh! Ow! So it seems the practice didn't go very well. And I think I'm going to do more damage to the performers than I would to myself. I think I'm just going to leave it to the professionals. Looks like all that's left for me to do is nurse my wounds with some packets of ice. Ouch. Dancing, I can do, but fire dancing, never again. What you need. Coming up on Without Boundaries. Get out! Go, 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 go! After talking to these divers, I'm getting really excited and impatient. I can hear the seas calling out my name. It's time to get into all the action. Right, that's it. Today is the day. Now is the moment that we finally do our first dive. My first open water. Am I good to go?
Yeah, you are ready to open water.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
We are ready.
BCD, elevator.
Okay, let's go. We're gonna kit ourselves out. Obviously, we have to follow all the protocol, BCD regulators, tanks, and everything. I'm just too excited now. Right. I need no, we need an S. I think we need an S. If you're wondering who this dude is, he's Dolphin Lee. That's my instructor. I think that's it.
Like a glove.
Perfect. All right. Get out! Go, 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 go! Okay, so the BCD goes around the tank, make sure the straps are tight, check the air, check the regulators, wet the wetsuit. Then it's our final briefing with Lee as he reminds us of certain hand signals that we need to remember for underwater communication. We're on our way to our very first dive site and everyone's looking pretty nervous and worried, but we'll be okay. Well, I think, or at least I hope.
So all our theory lessons, all our practices in the swimming pool, it's all come down to this moment. It's going to be my first open water dive and we're out in the big ocean. It's time to put everything to the test and see if I can get it. You wish me luck.
Hang on a second, of course we aren't back rolling into the sea without prior lessons. Before we actually performed the real deal in the sea, we had to go for all the theoretical stuff first. So we went to the very best dolphin sport adventure in Sunway. If you're thinking, who are all these people? Well, they're my production crew. Now, they'll be joining me for my classes because I don't want to dive alone. Now, who does?
I like Mr. Lee, he's awesome.
And actually, you'll be seeing them around quite a bit since clearly they're going to be with me throughout all of my travels. So over the next few days, it was like we were all back in school, being good students, listening to our teacher, and trying not to make too much noise. And as with every lesson in life, our brains had to be put to the test. I was hardly ever top scorer during my school days, but this time, not too bad. Yeah, warm up.
Okay, check your BCD.
Now we're using the underwater breathing apparatus. That means the tank, the BCD, all the regulators. So this is what it's all coming down to. Yay!
For our confined water training, we had to first prove that we were comfortable in the water. Then Lee taught us all the basic skills needed to ensure a safe and fun dive. Everything from setting up our scuba gear, to clearing our mask, to taking our mask completely off underwater, to buoyancy control. Then we practiced emergency skills like sharing air and recovering our regulators. But of course, this is a mere pool with no underwater current. So that was that. Now, let's go back into the future. And now the real test begins. The same skills that we learned in the pool had to be re-demonstrated in the wild seas. Some say that this is where the fun begins, but I didn't think it was very fun for all of us. I mean, some of the crew members were still extremely uncomfortable and thus created sandstorms every time their fins touched the bottom. But Lee was very patient with us throughout the entire time, and our last test was to perform an emergency ascent. Overall, no one did too badly and everyone managed to complete all that was required.
Alrighty, there we have it. Dive number 1 complete. Hopefully we'll have some time a little bit later on. We'll go for dive number 2.
After our skills were evaluated by Lee, he took us for another dive where we just toured around the area, soaking in the entire scuba diving experience. Now, the feeling of weightlessness is simply amazing. When you're underwater, it's quite surreal. All you can hear is your breathing pattern and the fish munching away. I think it feels similar to being in space. It's pretty cool. The freedom of movement, just the silence, just being one with yourself and nature. Have you ever noticed that a stingray can't actually see what it's eating, seeing as its eyes are on top of its head?
There you have it. I'm an official open water diver, so Malaysia's beaches and islands, beware, because there's Scuba Henry on the attack.
Now that I'm officially an open water diver, it is time to celebrate. So I'm going to head over to Long Beach, which is about 15 minutes sort of little trek through the jungle, but it's not too far. But this is where all the bars are, so you can get your fruit juice, you can hang by the beach and relax. That's the most important thing for tonight. I'm going to be letting my hair down. With all sorts of reggae, techno and R&B beats pumping throughout the entire night, this stretch of beach definitely satisfies the party lovers.
Me and Lee are going to do some fire jumping.
Ready, Lee?
Fire jumping.
Today water, now fire.
Before I start grooving along though, I'm going to chill out with Dolphin for a little bit.
How you think about today?
Today? Yeah, it was great. I mean, we finished it up. It was like 2 weeks of learning,
Yes.
2 weeks of your supervision, 2 weeks of, you know, being in the swimming pool, and finally
You got it, lad.
we hit
You're
the
awesome,
ocean.
man.
We hit the ocean, huh? What is that, by the way? You've dragged this all the way up the beach and you haven't shown me it yet.
Yeah, this is a piece of A4 paper.
This is the A4 paper, alright.
But
Cheers!
this is the one you're looking for, man.
Is this the official?
Yeah, it's official from Paddy.
So that's it. I'm an open water diver.
Today onward, you're open water diver. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to some diving with you, mate. We've got a lot of Malaysia to get hold of. And this is just the start, guys. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
The search for happiness is eternal. For some of these people, diving is happiness. What's yours? Next week on Without Boundaries.
I love you.